On this week's episode, I'm joined by Apollonia Rodrigues. Apollonia is not your average Portuguese name. And Apollonia is the president of Dark Sky Alqueva, an award-winning tourist destination where people come from all over the world to sit under the darkest skies and watch the brightest stars. We discuss, amongst other things, experiencing real Portuguese hospitality, living the Alentejo life, feeling big and small at the same time, and discovering Portugal's dark side. For those of you listening, head over to our YouTube channel so that you can see some of the photos that we published during this episode. And for those of you watching, be sure to click down below and subscribe. And now, over to my conversation with Apollonia. Welcome back, or welcome to another episode of Portugal, the Simple Life. And it's an honor to be joined by Apollonia Rodrigues. Apollonia, hello, and thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me here.
You're very welcome. Am I saying the name correctly?
Yes, it's Apollonia Rodrigues.
Rodrigues. Okay. So it's a very unique name.
Yes, indeed. There isn't many people with that. I get the name Apollonia from my grandmother.
Okay, beautiful. That's wonderful that they passed her name down still. That's good. Apollonia, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about you?
Well, I started, I'm from Aveiro, not from here, from Alentejo. I started to live here since 98. But I'm from the city called Aveiro in the north of Portugal. And I decided first to study informatics long time ago, 92, 94. And then I changed for the thing I really wanted. It was management, but then applied to tourism. So it was a new thing that was coming out, the management and planning in tourism, not just about hotels, restaurants, but how to manage and planning destinations and so on. So I changed for that, and here I am after some time. I started to work in a public authority in Évora. It's why I'm here in Alentejo. And then I started with some international projects. That's my thing, what I like to do. And I started with the European Network of Village Tourism. And then I decided that was my thing, what I wanted to do for the future. So I left the organization, public authority, because to work in a public authority, it's more difficult to do things, innovative things, out-of-the-box things. So it's really difficult. So I decided to go out and started my project, my thing, and it's why it was born Dark Sky Alqueva in 2007.
Okay. We're going to get to Dark Sky because it's a funny story how you and I got in touch. But let's first, our listeners are from all over the world, Apollonia, so they love to hear about our guests' hometowns. So let's talk about first your original hometown, Aveiro. Tell people a little bit about it, maybe something, it's quite a well-known place, but maybe tell people some things that maybe they don't know about your hometown.
Yeah, my hometown, it's Aveiro. It's what we call the Venice of Portugal, because it's called the Ria, a river, a small river, so it's going through the city. And we have some boats now use it for tourist rides. It's called muliceiros. And they have a very sweet, that I like so much. I don't know in English the name, but it's called ovos moles. Maybe you know the
soft eggs.
Soft eggs. Okay, it's direct
translated. It's a translated soft eggs.
It's a hometown linked, of course, to the ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and I like it very much. It's colder than in where I live actually now, but but it's fresh. It's a city with a nightlife, very good nightlife. When I was studying, and it is really an amazing city. But I visit often, so it's so
you don't miss it.
Meters. Yes, no.
Okay. So for people to understand about the soft eggs, it's not actually just a soft egg. In Portugal, we make a lot of desserts with egg as the base. And it's a very popular dessert with very sweet, with an egg as the main ingredient, right? The
yes,
osmol.
And with sugar, basically water and sugar. I don't know exactly the recipe. I like to eat it more than to know the recipe. I never try to do it myself. But you know that when I was studying in Portugal, there was a house that produce and sell eggs, soft eggs by now, called Peixinho. And it was close to my school. So they have a good pastry, fantastic, and soft eggs. And now they are all fancy, very beautiful boxes. But they preserve the tradition. So for me, Peixinho is still in my mind. And every time I go to Portugal, to Aveiro, sorry, I buy always eggs in Peixinho because there is my favorite house, and it's from my childhood.
Amazing. How many did you eat over your time there? Do you think thousands?
Yes, maybe. Yes, indeed.
Okay, that's okay. That's good. That's good. So that obviously you're good. You mentioned that the boats now are used for touristic purposes, and I remember because the men, they go and they've got the big sticks. I've been there and been on the boats. What were the boats used before that?
I don't know in English, but were to bring the muliço. I don't know in English.
It's a type of a fish?
No. It was used for other purposes. It's something thin, okay. Like a vim. I don't know in English. I'm sorry, okay. But it was to transport what we call muliço, and they are black and full of paintings. So they are very, very nice, and they are not being used for decades for that. But when I was in the university, I made also a study with my sister that she had the same degree, and we did a work about how to use that for touristic purposes. Okay. And suddenly we saw one time I was in Aveiro again, and I saw that they were already using it, and now it's a thing. It's a really a great thing in Aveiro.
Okay. Yeah, the boats are beautiful. They always got different patterns on, and then sometimes the men, when they are pushing the boat, they sing as well, which is very nice. If you catch them on a good day, they'll sing for you.
Yes.
So, it's a beautiful town. It's a beautiful town. But then you did the opposite. So a lot of people are born or come from the Alentejo, and they end up moving to a town or a city. You went in the other direction. And tell us about where you're based now, which part of the Alentejo, and what do you want people to know about where you live?
Well, by now I live in Borba. It's a city called to the territory of Sky Alqueva. It's why the main reason it was born here. And it's close to Spain, something like 40 kilometers with the border of Spain. And it's a great city, more known by the wine.
Borba is a very famous wine in Portugal.
Yes. Yeah. They have a great cooperative of wine, and it's Adega de Borba. So I think when in Portugal we talk about Borba, everyone thinks about the wine. Of course, they have also olive oil. They produce other things, and cheese. They are very good in cheese also. Of course, in Santiago Rio de Moinhos, it's a small place belonging to the municipality of Borba that they produce cheese, but mainly they are for wine. And in November, we have always a year of festival for the wine. So it's wine, cheese, and some olive oil and marble. Yes, we are. I was forgetting.
Marble?
Yes, the marble, the quarries of marble. We are inside the Anticlinal de Estremoz. It's a territory between Estremoz and other municipality. Borba and Vila Viçosa and Alandroal. So these four municipalities are in the place where it's a part of, how we say, Anticlinal, I think it is also in English, where you can extract marble. So it's a territory also very known for marble quarries.
Yeah, my wife and I visited Estremoz in the summer. We stayed at the Pousada there on the top of the castle, and there were lots of places that did marble sculptures. Yeah. So we discovered that not just wine. The place is not just famous for wine, but many. But the thing that surprises people, I think, a lot in Portugal is the cheese. It's really good. It's always been, French have always been famous for their cheese, but the cheese in Portugal is really, really good.
Yes, indeed. We have the soft ones, hard ones, very curated, and we have different ones from the regions. And apart, we are a small country. We have lots of different cheeses from all over the country, including the islands. The islands have also fantastic cheese.
Yeah, they're a bit strong, hey? My wife loves the Azores cheese, but it's a bit strong for me. But I'm getting used to it. It's
I have to admit, also for me, it's a very strong cheese.
Yeah,
but
really
I what I loved most, it's we do some things with friends, and usually I bring from international, because we travel a lot, and I bring different foods, and we join cheeses, Portuguese cheeses with the French cheeses, Italian cheeses, and so on. We do this kind of like battle between the cheeses, because my friends love very much cheeses.
Okay, yeah. So who wins? Who wins the battle in the end?
Sometimes I bring some special things, but the Portuguese ones are always in our heart.
Exactly.
Portuguese.
I like that. Apollonia, what do you enjoy about living? Because it's very different to where you grew up. It's very different to where you studied. What do you enjoy about living in the Alentejo?
Well, it's I felt more the difference, of course, more when I changed it, because in Aveiro we were to use it to have shopping malls, everything open until late, many restaurants, different cafes, and so on. Yeah. Here it's more limited choice. But in matter of fact, my nightlife was not. I was not a person that I was enjoying very much the nightlife. Okay, sometimes, but I was not that kind of person. So I didn't feel that difference. Of course, we hadn't cinema. That was a big thing for me. The cinema is 50 kilometers far away. And in the past, usually had one film or two during 15 days, for example. I was not used it anymore to that type of choice. But my work was very satisfying with international trips and so on. So in the middle of everything, I didn't feel so much the difference, and I get used it. Of course, here we have a situation that is more complicated for the person who doesn't have car. It's not easy to have public transports. Yeah. But as I had car and drive for every place I needed, so I didn't feel so much. And when I needed that city life again, Lisbon, it's 150 kilometers roughly from here. So I used to go to Lisbon and stay 2 days and go movie to the cinema since in the afternoon until the night, seeing different movies. So I was catching the things like that. Okay.
So Netflix is a good option for you. Yeah. And then I suppose with so much traveling that you do, to come back to a place like that's quiet and calm, it must be quite a nice feeling to come back. Yes. Yeah.
I was already in Las Vegas, and the places that you have people, thousands of people around you. In Venice, God, I was in Venice. I couldn't see the sea, the floor. So many people. Okay, I can be there in that places, but I would never live in that places, because indeed, to be like Aveiro is a small city, so you can have lots of tourism around the main city, the main area, Rocio and so on. But where I was living, it was calm, and Orbit is calm, and Lisbon is still not compared to that type of cities where if you are a little bit far away from the crowds, you can have clean and space to walk. But really, it's good to live in a place that is calm, where you can think, you can go to places and there's no queues to anything, no queues in the roads. That is what I like. Yes, the traffic. The traffic in Lisbon is still very, hard for us, because we don't like to lose time we are not used to lose time in the queue, in the traffic. But yes, sometimes we have to do it. But here we don't have nothing of that. yet.
Yeah. Well, we have to be aware that people listening could be listening to us right now while they're waiting in traffic, in their cars or on their earphones on a train or something. So we're sorry for you guys, but we don't have traffic.
They are brave. I have to tell that I have the opportunity to say that they are really, really brave. Because when I am in Lisbon, I know what they suffer, and it's a small city compared to other cities that I see traffic lights for 2-3 hours, and they are really brave. But indeed, I like the peace and quiet that we have here.
I'm originally from Johannesburg, and there, if you didn't leave your house before 6 o'clock in the morning, you would wait 2 hours to drive 20 kilometers. It was crazy. So yeah, I'm glad that I don't have that life anymore with the traffic, at least. Apollonia, let's speak about Dark Sky Alqueva. Alqueva. Sorry.
Yes, the U is silent.
Okay, the U is silent. Alqueva. So what happened with me is I'd heard from a number of people on the podcast that cloud watching is an amazing thing in Portugal. They love it so much. So I was looking on LinkedIn for a cloud expert. And then you came across my feed and I saw this amazing thing about Dark Sky Alqueva. And we started exchanging a few messages. So for people that don't know what it is, I wore a suit today because you are an award winner. Okay. You won a world, not just Portuguese, a world travel award. So congratulations. But just for people that are listening, tell us about Dark Sky Alqueva, how it started, what it is. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. So Dark Sky Alqueva, it's a territory. By the contrary that you were searching, it's the main thing is to be cloudless.
Exactly.
So it is the expert. It was in the contrary. The expert was how to find places where we have cloudless. Well, this is a territory with few light pollution. So means that you can still see the sky, the night sky, beautiful night sky. And I started this work in 2007 because I wanted to do, as I said to you, I live the public authority and I wanted to work in sustainable in tourism, but I was creating a non-profit association without money, of course, few money. So I had to think in something that could be in the future a tendency of the demand, but I could have time to prepare the destination in peace and quiet because I hadn't lots of money to invest. So when, for example, if we are working in gastronomy, you know that there are some markets already known, France, Italy, and so on. So to be known in the market, you need to invest a lot of money in marketing and so on because you have to fight to fight with this kind of competitors. So I needed to find something that was truly different in our territory, not explored already, and could have in future a great importance of demand, but in a sustainable way. It's what I wanted to do. So the night sky came across from some research I did I said my sister is working also in managing, in planning, in tourism, but in the scientific side. So she decided she's a professor in the University of Évora now, and in conjoint group of working and thinking about what could be something interesting, but a differentiator element in our territory. So we had the lake. But to do something connected with the lake means also new infrastructures for nautical activities implies a great amount of money. So it came across the night sky, but for one reason, the tendency of the market with the technology, we notice like a growing impact on people by you have to do something for yesterday, it's everything is for today, for now, immediately. So people started to think something more important, an experience with our inner self, so something with the added value. So we felt, okay, great, the night sky, the connection with night sky, it's important. So let's start to work on it. It was a complication because no one understood what we were doing, because it's for future tendencies, so you have to work in advance. So it was only obstacles, but I don't give up. If I see the light in the end of the tunnel, I go and go and go. And it was possible to do it. So what I did, it's why it appears the situation of the clouds, is that if no one is taking attention of what we are doing and understanding the impact in the territory, let's certify the territory we were using, 6 municipalities in the beginning. Let's certify the territory, and we will get the attention of the market that is growing at international level, and then we will get some national attention. So we did it, and we passed for 1 year of certification. And because of it, we were the first starlight tourism destination in the world, because we work at not only the technical part, the criteria, that is the quality of the night sky, the transparency, the equilibrium of the atmosphere, the turbulence, because you cannot have turbulence. You have to be transparent. You have to have a good contrast of the stars and the darkness of the night. And we have also to have at least 50% of the year cloudless. So means that if it is a touristic product, you have to be able to give it, to be able to construct a product around it. So you need to have the maximum possibility to have the nights without clouds. And here in Dark Sky Alqueva, we did a study at 10 years, in the range of 10 years. And we, with our analysis, we have 286 potential days per year without clouds. Wow. So it's not a good place to see the cloud.
Yeah, so I was looking for a cloud expert and I found a cloudless expert, but that's okay. That's okay. This is incredible. I mean, so tell people, just for people that are listening, what is the experience? What happens there? What do they do? Just paint us sort of a how the whole experience happens, and what people can expect from a normal night at Dark Sky Alqueva.
Well, first, it's important that you, when people come to our territory, they will come in the new moon. Okay. Yes, full moon, it's not the best time to enjoy a dark sky, because the light of the moon, of course, enlightens the night, and sure, you cannot see so many stars. So you can think that, okay, the sky is good, it's much better than in any place with the full moon. But if you want to enjoy a really dark sky, you have to come around the new moon. And then we have, of course, activities in our official observatory of Dark Sky Alqueva in the village of Comiada. It's in the municipality of Reguengos de Monsaraz, close to 15 kilometers from Monsaraz. I think you should know Monsaraz. So we have a small primary school. The building was used for this new purpose in a village with 75 people. So a small village. That is now best tourism village by UNWTO, United Nations World Tourism Organization, because we have our official observatory, a new type of tourism, innovation tourism in this small village. So you can have a night observation with telescopes and with the naked eye. We have also a great work of astrophotography. We have an official astrophotographer, Miguel Claro. If you want to follow these astonishing astroscapes, you can see Miguel Claro in the Instagram and Facebook or in our Dark Sky page website. So he does work from the observatory and also in around the territory. But you can have you can see and have some knowledge about what it is universe with his astrophotographies, because we have an exhibition with our own astrophotographies captured in the observatory or in the territory. So you can already know some parts. And then, of course, it's the most interesting and a great experience to be the planets, the moon, with your own eye to see in the reality. But then you have blind wine tasting, Portugal, Alentejo, Alqueva, and the wine. We have to find the different activities. Night canoeing. We have the lake, the Great Lake of Alqueva. Why not doing a night canoeing? And it is really on the darkness, not with lights and so on. So, and then walks during the night, and always explaining the night sky. But of course, our partners have also activities during the day. We have other boat rides in the lake, and so we join also the activities during the day. But mainly the sessions, the workshop of astrophotography, workshops of astrophotography. So you can find different activities for different tastes.
So they won't be only entertained at night. They'll also be entertained during the daytime. But the main idea is to have that connection to the stars and to just come and enjoy the night sky. You mentioned that so it's the darkest. It's one of the darkest skies in the world, really, or in at least in Europe, right?
Yes. Yes, we have a great quality of night sky, and there is a reason why we have, because our villages and small cities are separated one from each other. So not like in the coastline of Portugal, from Lisbon, for example, to Porto. So our development is not like in line. And when you have this development in line, in planning, you know how it works, means that the public lighting, it's coming from one place and continuously illuminating during the night. Our villages are separated 20 kilometers, 15 kilometers from each other. So there is dark between them. Then we have, fortunately, due to our work, because as a non-profit organization, we are also protecting and creating the Dark Sky Alqueva. We are also protecting the night sky. So our mission is to fight the light pollution and try to explain why light pollution is bad for the health, your health as a person. It's for the ecosystems, and of course the use of energy, the waste of energy that we have every night. That even if we decrease the light pollution and not decrease the quality of the illumination, but just the light pollution, you will see how much money the municipalities could how we say, poupar, save, sorry. The word went away. Sorry.
It's save. Okay.
I'm sorry for my English, but I'm Portuguese.
It's great. It's great. It's wonderful. Don't worry. And if you want to say a word in Portuguese, I can try.
Thank you very much. Sometimes it's away.
You mentioned that this idea took a while for people to understand. Most great ideas take some time for people to learn and everything. But how have the sort of the surrounding? I mean, you mentioned the village of 75 people. Which is now which is now a winner of a massive travel award. How has the village sort of embraced this idea and cooperated with this concept and the Dark Sky Alqueva? How have they helped?
Yes, in the beginning, it was something very strange for them because, of course, not only for them, but for many people, because they had that night sky for long. No one never thought that could be something that someone could come from all over the world to see their night sky. So for them, it was something very strange. But what we are trying to do, and it's why it is the best tourism village by UNWTO, is that we are trying to implement a sustainable tourism in this territory. So to bring people, but thinking in the capacity of a charge of this area, this territory. It's almost, it's more than 7,000 kilometers around the lake of Alqueva Lake. And in Estremoz, you were in Estremoz. Estremoz is a newcomer, so enter in September in the Dark Sky Alqueva.
Okay.
So it was a great to see that they have interest in being part of our project. They what we try to do is to show how you could have a great night sky, illumination that is enough for the people, and a type of tourism that can work without bothering them. So we start at night. We are in the other side of the village, close, but we don't bother anyone. So it's a type of tourism that doesn't make noise, doesn't make a great impact or a bad impact in the territory, especially in this village. So they are happy because we are working, we are bringing people, we are bringing new things to their village, but at the same time, we don't bother them, So this is the type of tourism that we think that, especially in rural areas, we know that we call about the depopulation process that we have also in Alentejo. But imagine someone seated in a bench in the village, and 30 people, different people, passing and say, "Hi, hello, how are you?" Okay, the 2, 3, 5 persons, okay, but the same person that is there just enjoying the calmness of the territory, it's bothered 30 times, 40 times. It's not good for these small villages. So our type of tourism can bring added value for the region, income for the region, but at the same time is not being too much, it's not being too much. It's what we think. And of course, with this, it's more easy that a small village to embrace this new innovation type of tourism that was completely out of mind. And another thing, we kept the school as it was. We didn't change the school. Nice. So, and some people that lived in the village were students in that small primary school. So they when they visit, oh great, it's all in the same. So we kept the identity of that.
You didn't change the architecture, because for people that don't know, the primary schools in Portugal have got a very distinct architecture. It's actually they're very beautiful buildings usually. So it's wonderful that you kept that, and nice that they can see it being used for something again.
Yes,
because it was probably and then also, I mean, I suppose with a small village like that, less light pollution, less lights.
Yes, as I said a while ago, we had the fortune to have in Portugal we have something called SIM. It's a community of municipalities. So they work together for some projects that they are more than municipality territory. So, for example, water resources, lighting resources, and so on. So they need to work in a wider area. So our SIM from Alentejo, Central Alentejo, some municipalities in our Dark Sky Alqueva, they change 55,000 lights from all the territory, and we asked to change the complete village of Cumiada, and to have what we call, I think, tele management, something like that. So each light is as a device, and you can change that light. So
okay, so it's not a circuit; it's an individual.
You can, for example, to have two lights together, and this one it's 10%, and this is 20%. So each light has a management system. Mm-hmm. And what we do is, not us, of course, we ask it to the municipality that ask it to this organization, and they decrease the intensity as soon as we started with our night sessions, because we can have, when you see dark, most of the times it's not the darker part for us. We need the astronomical twilight. So after the sunset, you have the crepuscular twilight, and then we need the astronomical twilight. It's usually 1 hour after. So as soon as started our sessions, they decrease the intensity for like 30%, 20%. So, and they increase again at 6 when people started to prepare to go to work. But during this period, or when we have sessions, or when Miguel Claro is shooting the night sky, the planets or the nebulas, so the deep sky objects, when he needs the most night and people are sleeping, so there wasn't anyone in the streets. We have the minimum light possible to be acceptable, for walking and so on, in spite of no one is there, but we have to keep it the minimum. I know that in Belgium, I think in other countries, they have in small villages like a type of device that it's all dark, and when someone start to walk in the street, they light up. Yes, but for us, of course, it could be the best solution because no one is in some way at night walking in the street, but it's too far. So we have to go step by step, making people to understand the importance of the night sky. So we prefer to go in small steps. Then you do a big step, and if people feel that we are taking something from them, like the light, because light is also connected with development. So you see how this is difficult to deal. It was one of our main battles. It is the light to work the light pollution. But if you take it too much, it's a good step, but then you have to come back. So we prefer to go with small steps.
Sure. And one of the other things that you mentioned, Apollonia, was sustainable tourism, and that this was important, that it would be sustainable. This is a word that's being used a lot in the world today, sustainable. But what did you mean? I know we're not just talking about energy, but we're talking about a global, something that's good for everybody, right? In terms of sustainable tourism. So maybe just explain what you had in mind with that.
We doesn't work only with light pollution. Of course, light pollution is you have to always find something that triggers your intentions, your work, and give you a line to move forward. As it's our light pollution, but I have to tell you that light pollution, I thought it was just the best thing for the territory to work on it, because you are decreasing something that, when I talk about this, you have the green economy, people that are using your your waste to produce things. But in our case, with light pollution, if you think no one is using the waste you are producing. So it's really a thing that I was supposing I thought it was much better or easy to work, but in the question of social questions are a bigger thing than we thought. But what we try to do is to think in all the things that a destination need to be sustainable. For example, the digitalization. In our case, we have some difficulties with the connections. For example, accessibility. One of our main problems in this territory is that we are not easily accessible by public transport. So people have to ride the car. So we are working and try to sensibilize the public organizations how we can have a better network of public transport. So our footprint is less than we are now. For example, we are a territory, rural territory, but we are seeing something very damaging, that is the cultures, what we call if the olive oil is giving money, everyone plants olive oil, and all the biosystems that we have, ecosystems that we have, like Montado and so on, are losing the battle against these monocultures. No, remember the word, sorry, monocultures. So we know how important is our ecosystem, the ecosystem for the territory, our dark sky Alqueva, more than 7,000 square kilometers. So we, as a non-profit organization, we try to talk with all the organizations around to keep it as a ecosystem, a variety of ecosystems. So
and balanced.
Another thing, we work with the markets that give value to our territory. We try to find people and markets that can bring added value to our territory, but not like in big consume. Many people, for example, like a bus full of people that just go to Cumiada, visit and go away. That is not sustainable for our territory. We need people that enjoy the handicraft, enjoy to see the winery, the gin distillery, to go and walk and buy some handicraft products that we produce in our territory. For example, we also emphasize the interesting part of producing things in our territory that are locally made, and not only the food, but also the handicraft. Not just buy something done in China and put the pin for the fridge and so on. You go and produce cheap, but it's not about your identity. So all these parts are in some way the group of sustainable actions we do. For example, to help our partners, because we have a network of official partners that work with us, because they all need training. This thing of the full moon. If someone contacts accommodation and says to them, I want to Dark Sky Alqueva to see the dark sky, and they accept a reservation for full moon, it's a bad service. So we had to give training to all our partners, and our partners, for example, we have a commitment with the Planet Travel with Care, also from the United Nations World Tourism Organization. So to avoid the use of plastics, to avoid to improve the circular economy. So we work on all these are part of our sustainable strategy. So just not light pollution, but light pollution, fighting the plastics, working with the handicraft, working with people to give them added value, but to think how the residents feel about the tourism. So all of this is sustainability, not just a word that everyone uses. I know I work since in more with the European Commission with Tourism Sustainability Group since 2005 about sustainability. And it is a word that when you talk with among the tourism leaders and so on, they are tourism sustainability. Yes, because it's hard to implement. And most of the work is back office. It's not just a fancy thing that you just go and make some actions. The 80% is back office work and 20% is visibility. So it's why it's not so appealing for politicians and other people, because most of the work it's really in the back. It's in the back office part.
Yeah, it's not something that happens overnight. And it's responsible tourism. It needs to be something that can work for everybody and benefit everybody. And you don't just want people arriving there at nighttime and then leaving before the sun comes up. You want something that will benefit everybody. Apollonia, how did it feel receiving an award, standing on a stage at the World Travel Awards, representing this little corner of, not little, but this unknown part of our country?
Yes, it's really an honor because people around me knows how difficult it was to put that in practice, to work sustainability when most people want things for tomorrow, want results, and the results are not the results. I mean, immediately results is not compatible with sustainability. So I cannot do it immediately. So there are things that take time, like, for example, the light pollution. I know that was important to be for tomorrow, but I understood the part of the people in the communities living. So I had to give them time. It was 10 years to do it. So you have to think on it. And when you see the the people around the world recognizing your work in a small part of Portugal that some people are getting knowing about only now, and to be recognized at this world stage, it's really honor. But for us, it's a heavy thing because we have to work harder and we don't have so many tools as we needed. So it's our work, the work of our team. We have a team in the observatory working all around, Nuno, Fred, and Rebecca, that are receiving our guests when they do the night sessions. Me and Miguel. Miguel, of course, it's known by his astrophotographies, and I am the backstage girl that created this thing since the beginning. But and I have the work in the back. But all this together to see that this being recognized, and this not just recognized as a tourism attraction, but recognized as the responsible tourism that we are doing here. Yeah. It's really amazing, and how we say, something that gives us strength to fulfill all the obstacles that we still have. But fortunately, someone is recognizing our work, and it's fantastic. It's what I can say.
Wonderful. So we'll send more people that way, not just to see the skies, but to eat the food, eat the cheese, drink the wine, buy some handicraft. Come on, it's the Alentejo experience. It's the real Alentejo, not only at night. No. Amazing.
No, but now you have at night.
Yeah. Apollonia, what makes you proud of, you mentioned earlier that you've traveled to all these different places. I know you worked a little bit in Brussels as well. You mentioned Las Vegas. You've been around. You were in Spain now it was in Spain, the awards, if I'm not mistaken.
In Mallorca.
Yeah. What makes you, when you come back and having visited all these places, what do you appreciate and what makes you proud about your country?
Well, first we have the sun. We adore the sun, the
no clouds.
Yes, no clouds, the quietness of our territory, and the hospitality. I think what we have fantastic in Portugal, and we keep it, is the hospitality, the capacity to communicate with our guests. Even if we don't talk, we are able to communicate. And so we still have that appreciation of what we do in our territory, the small farms, the small houses. People appreciate what they have. This sun, quiet places, beautiful landscape. Of course, for the night sky, we are not in a mountain, in high, but we have this combination of great rural tourism, people that enjoy what they are doing, the small restaurants, people doing tourism activities with that identity, that are, feeling what they are doing. And some tourism places that I am visiting, I feel that they are more like they study, they lose the identity, and they are just equal. In Las Vegas, in New York, or whatever you visit in Brussels, you go and you see that, okay, it's very professional, very good work, but it's in somewhat the same, you find the same. Here we still kept the identity, and we be proud of that identity and hospitality we do.
Yeah. So when people come there, they're not going to only experience the darkest skies in the world, but they're going to have a real Alentejana experience.
Yes,
and
indeed.
That's, there's no place like the Alentejo. It's unique.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. And I'm from Aveiro, so exactly. I know what I am talking about.
Exactly.
Not I am talking about it being from here. I am from another part of Portugal, so I know what means Alentejo experience, and it's come and experience it.
Yeah, exactly. Come and see it for yourself. Apollonia, one thing that you would like people to remember and take away from our conversation?
Well, what I can say, we work hard to protect the night sky, not only here, but also in other parts of the country and at worldwide. So please look up, go to a dark place as soon far away from the cities and look again, because it was one of the main difficult things I had to explain people, that is still have in some places this beautiful night sky, and feel big and small at the same time, look into this universe around us.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Speaking of dark sky and Alqueva, how can people follow? How can people find you online? How can people get in touch and learn more about what you guys are doing?
So we have a website, darkskyalqueva.com. It's Alqueva for people that are not from Portugal, or it's
me?
Alqueva. Darkskyalqueva.com, and in Facebook it's /Alqueva again, and you can follow us. But I think if you just use Dark Sky Alqueva in Google or something, you will find also our Instagram is Dark Sky Alqueva again, and you follow our pages. We have these social networks and our website, and you can follow what we are doing, our activities, and you can get all the information you need from us.
Excellent. So we'll put some links in the show notes that people can follow and get in touch. But the most important thing, go and experience the dark skies, go and experience the village, go and experience everything that the area has to offer. Apollonia, we're almost finished. A question that we ask all of our guests: Portugal, the simple life. Why?
The simple life. Yes, because as I said, it's like what we feel in Alentejo area. It's taking the most of the simple things you have in life, and be grateful for that. Be grateful for what you have. We have a great coastline. We have the sea. We have the sun. We have the night sky. All together in the small country that you have so many diversified things that you can do. You can feel different people, all hospitality people. So yes, simple life. It's like that. It's to appreciate the good things and the beautiful night sky you have above you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Apollonia. I've loved this conversation. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
And thank you for having me. And it was a great hour with you. And you make things easy to talk, even if in English I couldn't say the things as I wanted to say because it's not my mother language. But you kept things so easy. Thank you very much.
You did great. You did really, really well. Thank you so much, Apollonia. And I'm going to let you call it.
Thank you.
So thank you once again to Apollonia, and thank you to all of you for listening. Please subscribe, share with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and please leave a comment or a review. We always love to hear from you. Also remember, Portugal, The Simple Life has a magazine, so download the latest edition. It's for free. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. And as we say in Portugal, sejas bem-vindo. Welcome to The Simple Life.